folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch today. We're going to be talking about something we've talked about before, but it's been a while. And that's about food shortages, panic buying, people going hungry in America, and why, if you haven't been, and I would assume that most of you have, you need to be stocking up as much as you possibly can. Because as bad as it's been, I'm pretty confident in my belief that it's going to be getting a lot worse. Remember, what looks to be the president-elect, Joe Biden, said that it was going to be a dark winter. And I think that's probably the most honest and truthful and real thing he said during the whole campaign. Just the outlook on everything. And when I decided to do this video today, I just went ahead and did some research, and I'll be posting some screenshots of news articles. And I'll be very blunt with you. I knew things were bad. I knew things were going to be getting bad. It's winter time. There's surging cases. There's more lockdowns. Come January 20th, if Joe Biden is sworn into office, there's probably going to be even a lot more. So I figured it was going to be bad. But as I started doing a little research for current articles, I was a little shocked because I think it's probably worse than what I thought. And it's usually I try to lighten the mood and add a little humor, but it's kind of hard to when I see some of these headlines. So folks, I'm not trying to be overly dramatic on this, and I'm not trying to panic and scare everyone, but I think this is serious. Now, there's a few things going on here. They're just like what we've talked about for many months now. There's actual legitimate food shortages. There's increase in food prices. We'll get into that in a little bit. But then there's also just the panic, and as the media continues to talk about the panic and to cause people to become panicked, they will panic, right? And so some of the food shortages is simply because people are panicking. And it doesn't matter if it's real or not. The fact is the people believe it's real. It's kind of like the health crisis. Sorry, got a nose itching. It's kind of like this health crisis. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. What really matters is that people believe that, and are scared and are panicked and are doing the things that they're doing, which is why we should be cautious and why you need to stock up. You need to be getting prepared. Some people have kind of beat me up saying that I only talk about getting prepared because I, sell this, emergency food. Listen, if you're in the market for emergency food, hey, I can, there's a good deal there. But the reality is you need to be stocking up on stuff regardless. And that kind of freeze-dried emergency food is probably, for most people, should be one of the latter things on your list. You need to be stocking up on real things. I did a video just a few days ago of food, rice and beans and canned foods and oils and sugars and things like that you need to be stocking up on. The freeze-dried food, the emergency food, that's a great long-term product. It has a great purpose because it's very simple and easy, and you don't even have to worry about it. If you're interested in that, there is a link in the description below. But folks, you just need to be stocking up. One of the things that's happening that we all knew was going to happen, right? We all knew this. Jobless claims rise to 885,000 this past week. This is a pretty big increase. Everyone was bragging about how, the third quarter, look at all this bounce back, and the jobless claims are dropping, and we are still at least 4 times higher than a normal time of year, and they're going back up. And of course they're going back up because there's all these new lockdowns. Many states and locales are locking things down. And the odds are the lockdowns are going to be even more harsh. In fact, Andrew Cuomo in New York said that he is telling people to be prepared for a complete shutdown of New York. Complete shutdown. worse than it was before, more aggressive, more stringent. Um, of course, there's going to be jobless claims. And that's just the beginning of it, folks. So I just wanted to bring in another thing I wanted to bring up, and some of you might kind of laugh at this, but Christmas tree and holiday lights are selling out. We don't celebrate Christmas here, and I know many of you don't, but those of you that do, maybe you've noticed this. I didn't notice it because we don't celebrate it. But what's interesting, if in the article, and there's a couple of more articles about it, they believe that it's in big part of reason why these things are selling out is people, they know that Christmas and the holiday season, it makes them feel good, and they haven't felt good all year, and they're terrified, and many people, and they're talking about in the article, feel that this may be the last one that they really can have, and so people are in a place of despair, and so they're rushing to get into the holidays and make them last longer, and try to create that last little bit of hope. And regardless of whether that's happens or not, the point is that we're seeing where people are in America, and that's a scary place. If you remember last week in the video, I talked about how a recent study showed that over 40% of Americans believe, or right at 40%, believe that 2021, that they will be living in survival mode the entire year. So folks, you've got to start getting ready. If you haven't, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how much more to show you the things to get ready. So it's, I'm when I do these videos, it's out of actual concern. I know that there's people out there listening, and I know that some of you are struggling, and I wish I could do things to help you. And so if nothing else, I can show you what seems to be on the horizon, and why you need to do everything you can to get ready. Several articles just in the last few days talking about this. The Guardian, no end in sight, hunger surges in America amid a spiraling pandemic. So this is something, outside the U.S. news that's talking about it. This one here, a virus surge is a pandemic, panic buying on a roll again. I kind of butchered that, but here in the article, and this is what I wanted to show in the article, high supply and demand means prices are up. We understand, most of us understand high supply and demand. But look at this, consumer price index is up 3.6, and the price index for meat is up 7%. So what we're seeing is not only are people, they have less money, there's less stuff to go around, and things are costing more money. The price is going up, and so the purchasing power of your money is less, and it's just creating kind of a perfect storm. And what we experienced back in the spring 9 months ago, like I've said back then, and I've said all along, I think it was just setting us up. It was just kind of a beta test, getting us ready. And here we are, winter's happening, holidays are coming up. Winter is always tough on most people anyways. That's usually when people are going to the food pantries more, and it's typically just harder. There's a lot of jobs, a lot more jobs make less money during the holiday season. I understand that there's some that make more, but a lot of seasonal jobs that people aren't working in the holiday season. And here we are during the winter, so with all the shutdowns coming even harder, even more, we are looking at a dark winter. I firmly believe that. Another article, hoarding, stockpiling, panic buying. And this one here, it goes into not just the stockpiling, but it talks about the behavior and how the psychological strain that this whole pandemic is causing on people, and that the increase in drug abuse, the increase in suicide, the increase in OCD tendencies, and depression, it's everything. It's on a rise. And of course, so many people are completely isolated. I mentioned that just a few days ago of a teenager that ended his life because of all these lockdowns. He just couldn't bear that he wasn't able to see his friends. And he's certainly not the only one. There's been many, many this year. So I don't foresee things just getting better, folks. So you've got to, if anything, just take it seriously. And I know most of you do. That's why you watch. But share this around. Pass it along to your family members. Try to get them to watch it. If you just have to say, please, I understand you're not into this, but please just watch this. Just do it for me. And like I said, the hunger is it's getting worse. It's not just the panic buying. It's not just that people will go out and panic buying and they're hoarding or they're stocking up or they're getting serious about prepping. People are actually going hungry. Remember, and we've seen this all year long, food bank lines, miles and miles long. It's not getting any better, folks. In fact, a lot of the food banks are saying that they're running out of food. They've been giving out more food than they ever have before. Less people, so there's more people, coming to the food banks to get food, and there's less people able to donate to the food banks, and there's less food available, period. So they're running out of food. Millions of Americans face hunger and food insecurity this holiday season. The health crisis, for the first time, 40% of Americans have experienced food insecurity. Hungry Americans across the country deepens as this food crisis. Now, here's one, this Valley Food Banks project. It's one of the largest in the country. They're projecting food shortages, not just for them, but for across the nation. It's a big organization. Here's one that stood out. Texas food banks may be less equipped to help the country. Look down here in the bottom. More than 2.5 million households in Texas did not have enough food to eat in November. That's more than 25%. More than 25% of the households in Texas. And for those of you that live in Texas, kind of back me up, Texas is known to be I understand there's certainly poor areas of Texas, but if you look at it economically, they're definitely one of the more prosperous states in the union. They're not considered a poor state at all. And here they are, more than 25% of the households in Texas didn't have enough food to eat. This is America, right? I mean, we America, we dump food in our landfills. It's not even been eaten. We throw it away. We waste it, because we have such plenty in this nation, right? I mean, that's the way it's always been. We've probably all complained about this for years of how this country just wastes food. There's nations out there, people starving to death, and here we in this nation, we have so much we waste it. Well, I think those days have come and gone, when we've got 25%, more than 25% of the homes in a fairly prosperous, wealthy state that did not have enough food to eat last month. And of course, the businesses, they're running out of foods. The Kroger and Walmart and a lot of these big distributors, stores, they said that they've been trying to stock up. They've been getting ready. Last spring, they weren't ready for it. And that's why there was all these shortages. And so they've been trying to stockpile and get things ready, but they're admitting already that they don't think they can keep up with it. If you haven't seen it already, you're going to start seeing more restrictions on purchasing, which is another thing. So if you're trying to stockpile and you go to the store, you're trying to stock up so that you have enough, you go to the store and you can only buy two of something, it's pretty tough. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to be facing. You've faced it before, but I think many of us have kind of forgotten. We hope that it's just going to get better. Don't count on finding toilet paper on your next run to Target and Walmart. Panic buying's on a roll. They said it's already started. Grocery stores worried about food shortages again. They're already reporting a lot of panic buying. Kroger and other retailers prepare for possibly another round of COVID-19 panic buying. Folks, again, it didn't take me very long to come up with these. I'm sure if I spent a lot more time, I could have come up with more. The point is it's all out there. It's easy to find. And whether or not it's the media hyping it up, it doesn't really matter at this point. The point is there in fact are people that's hungry. There's people that's doing without. There's people that's lost their homes, lost their jobs, lost their cars, people living in their cars, and they're having a hard time buying food. And then the fact that there's just probably not enough to go around because a lot of these companies are saying that they're still not up to, top speed on production. So whatever you can do, whatever you have to cut back on in other areas, I would encourage you to get out there and stock up as much as you can. If you have some weaknesses in your food supply at home and your stockpiles, do that. My wife and I were already here in the next couple of days. We're going to do a full inventory of everything we have. We're going to figure out, where our weaknesses are, and we're going to be making plans over the next, days and week to get out there and try to get the things that we need. If we figure out, oh well, we don't have as much of this as we probably should. Um, this is something you need to do, and you need to take it seriously, because um, uh, dark winter and dark times are coming, folks, and I don't want to sound like a doomsdayer at all, and I'm certainly not trying to put the fear of anything into any of you. I am not trying to hype this up. I say this out of serious concern, folks. Um, I think we're going to see it's a pretty rough year or two, and if you haven't gotten as ready as you need to be, please, by all means, get out there and get ready as much as you possibly can, because there's plenty of other people doing it, and there may not be enough around when you finally get out there and try to stock up. All right, folks, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.